What are you talking about? I'm always professional here, JT. I'm always professional. Come on. You should expect nothing less but the highest, most professional standards from this channel. Come on now. God. It's like I've been away for like a month or something like that. I mean, geez. Have the standards really sunk that low? Okay, they probably have. They they probably have. What is up, guys? It has been forever. Absolutely forever. So, been doing a lot of overtime, a lot of hanging out with the family, and just, you know, the usual stuff, right? Or I guess unusual. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Both of you guys are right. Both of you guys are right. The standards are about 6 feet deep, and well, I guess the standards are 6 feet deep if we even had standards here. But you know, I don't think there's standards. I don't think there ever was standards to be killed or murdered. That's true, JT. That's very true. That's very true. So, I'm probably not going to do this for too long today. I haven't slept, did the 12-hour shift, came home, mowed the lawn, took the trash in, took a shower, and, well, here we are now, right? Here we are. So, it's been a little while, so just bear with me while I gather my thoughts here. Anyways, another reason why I was gone for a month is, well, I've been working on a new channel. So there is a new channel, and it's primarily for yes, sleeping is for the weak. The new channel is sci-fi lore and doing deep dives into sci-fi. No, I'm not gonna cry. We're gonna, but yeah, sci-fi lore, sci-fi deep dives into like industry, manufacturing, battle tech. We'll get into all kinds of we'll get into a bunch of different stuff there. It will take time. I'm not gonna half-ass this, and research is key. And when you are trying to balance work, life, family, videos, it's kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot. A new channel equals slow rolling videos. Yeah, basically. The next one I'm gonna do. Well, you know what? Here, let's change it. Let's change it up here. The next one I'm doing is going to require a pretty fair amount of research. So if you guys would like, you can check that out. And yeah, I'm actually there's a few things I wish I could change in this video that I put out. Couple of mispronunciations, kind of went a little too fast in some spots, but you know, it was fun. It was fun. I had a good time doing it. Took a long time. Took a real long time. The next one's going to probably take just as long. I got to research some real world history and events and do some deep dives into some of the source books that I have. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Don't know how long it's going to be, but it's definitely going to be interesting. So how's your guys' week been so far? You know, it's Monday. No, Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday. I'm on nights. Everything's messed up. I go to work and it's one day and then turns into the next day halfway through work, and then yeah, everything's weird. Everything's super weird. Ah, coffee. Coffee. So I guess we should probably do some reacts. I mean, that's kind of what we're here for or something, right? I haven't done this in a long, long time. So I feel a little out of sorts, just a little bit. Um, we are, for those of you that both of you guys, both Jim and Cosmic, both of you guys. I'm laughing at both of those. What was I gonna say? I am gonna do a Star Citizen video. It's not gonna be the first one, but I am gonna do a Star Citizen video. And if you are, what's the word I want to use? If you are not willing to take the heat on that, then you might want to click away. I'll give fair warning before I do the Star Citizen video. For me, hold on here. Let's look at how long it's possibly been here, because it's been a while. I said videos, not shorts. It's been at least 3 months since I've played. At least. You have your anniversary this week? Well, congratulations on being married for however long. But it's been 3 months since I joined Star Citizen Anonymous, and it's been great. I really don't know how else to say it, but it's been absolutely fantastically great. Just absolutely fantastic great. Like it's super awesome. Like I've enjoyed playing other games that work and are worth my time. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that right now. First and foremost, let's do what should we do? I'm tired, so I don't want to think too much. You know what? Let's do the Fat Files. This video is from the Fat Files, and it's called Artifact Smuggling and Tax Avoidance. So we're gonna check that one out. And yell at me if the sound is messed up.
As a director of finance, I'm managing 15 and 20 contracts.
They disabled my ad blocker.
With Acrobat AI assistant.
All right, here's the deal. My wife dragged me into a Hobby Lobby, and I was in that store for all of about...
This sucks. They disabled my ad blocker. I'm going to have to try to find another one that YouTube don't know about yet. That sucks. That sucks. All right.
All right, here's the deal. My wife dragged me into a Hobby Lobby, and I was in that store for all of about 30 seconds before I knew they were up to something. So I go home, I look into it, and what I found is so insane. I wasn't even mad. I was just impressed. All right, look, if you don't know, Hobby Lobby is the biggest arts and crafts chain in the United States. Technically, Michael's has more locations, but Hobby Lobby makes way more money, so I'm calling them the biggest. Last year, they made...
Okay, I like Hobby Lobby. I think it's really, I enjoy going into Hobby Lobby. I like that they carry the type of miniature paints that I like to use. They have all kinds of cool paintbrushes. Whenever I might find myself having more money, I might get an airbrush. I'm not saying I'm going to get it from Hobby Lobby. I'm just saying I might get an airbrush. One thing that I need, because I'm old and my eyes don't work the way they used to, especially when looking at little details, I might have to get one of those little helmet things with the jeweler's glasses, you know, the jeweler's lenses or whatever they're called, you know, so it makes my eyeballs look huge. Because trying to use the magnifying glass or the hands-free one and like getting it just right is a pain in the ass. It really is. But I like Hobby Lobby. I agree, Jim. I agree. And it smells... Hobby Lobby doesn't smell freaking weird like Michael's does. I walk into Michael's and I get like a headache almost instantly because it smells like eucalyptus and... I don't know, man. It smells weird in there. I don't like it.
$7.9 billion selling knickknacks and arts and crafts supplies. On top of that, they pay their employees $19.25 an hour minimum wage.
Pretty good.
On top of that, they donate 50% of their profits to charity, and then if you Google them, you find out they've been involved in more high-profile scandals in a Kennedy family reunion, including smuggling religious artifacts into the United States and somehow turning them into a massive tax write-off. And we're going to get into all of it right after word from our sponsor.
They're Indiana
This video is
Jonesing?
brought to you by Supremacy World War III, a free online PvP military-based strategy game. It's based on a World War III type scenario where you can pick your country or you can pick a state inside of the United States because, well, let's face it, that's the only time to build up my army with tanks, jets, and nuclear subs. So if you want to give Supremacy World War III a try, it's free, both available on PC and mobile. If you use my link and discount code down below, you're going to get a bunch of extra
that's what I need.
freebies. Let's get back to the video.
Gotcha.
All right, we're just gonna take this from the top. Let me set the scene for you so we can go on this voyage together. Wife drags me to a place called Hobby Lobby. It's in what appears to be an abandoned Kmart. We take 2 steps inside the door, and in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this is clearly the knick-knack / gift shop area of the store. They've done what a lot of other places do, like Cracker Barrel, museums, tourist attractions. They have the little gift shop knick-knack area right by the doors so they can upsell you on the way in and the way out. That makes sense to me. Never really seen it in a department store, so that's kind of unique, but
I never even looked.
So we continue walking through the store, and I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, this knick-knack gift shop area is enormous. And then we keep walking, and we keep walking, and the knickknacks just never fucking end. They're everywhere. And then it dawns on me, the entire abandoned Kmart I'm inside of is one giant gift shop. At this point, the logical side of my brain is like, there's absolutely no way. So I start picking up the pace. I walk every aisle. I walk the entire store, progressively going into more and more of an existential crisis because there's absolutely no way that an abandoned Kmart full of knickknacks is a profitable business. But that's it. It's the whole thing. It's nothing but knickknacks. So I just stop in the middle of an aisle. I pull out my phone.
That is
I Google
true,
how much
JT.
money does Hobby Lobby make annually? $7.9 billion last year. There's no fucking way.
I don't believe you.
I've walked the entire store at this point. It's just knickknacks and arts and craft supplies. That's it. The entire store is literally an elderly woman throwing the world's biggest garage sale inside of an abandoned Kmart, and somehow they're making a shit ton of money. At this point, I'm thinking like, okay, they're selling drugs out the back door or something. There's no way to logically explain this. So I get back together with my wife.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing for Hobby Lobby, and it has probably encouraged a lot of new good or bad habits. I'm not sure how you would call it, but during the pandemic, a lot of people turned to arts and crafts, knick-knacking, and like, you know, what was the other really big thing that came out? Preserves and like canning. Like that was another big thing people were like all about for a long time during the pandemic. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. Maybe he'll get into it. Sorry for the pause, Fat.
She's got all the knickknacks and shit that she's buying. We go into checkout, and I'm standing in this checkout longer than I'm standing at the DMV. There's like 3 people in front of me. It takes fucking forever to get through this checkout line. So I asked my wife, I'm like, what is taking so long? I don't understand. And she's like, oh, Hobby Lobby always takes forever to check out at because they don't use barcodes. They have to type everything in by hand.
9
Yeah, scrapbooking.
THD03.
T.
Okay, now at this point, I'm having a full-blown panic attack because I know that barcodes came out in the late 1940s because they were inspired by Morse code, and some dude that worked on the Manhattan Project invented them right after World War II. And now it's 2025 and we're not using them inside of the store. There's no fucking way. I am 99% sure I died in a car wreck on the way to Hobby Lobby, and now I'm stuck in knick-knack
I don't know anything about
Okay,
palm
then I take a
wax.
deep breath. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm alive. Okay, there's got to be an explanation for this. And I'm like, oh,
I'll show you. It's blue, so it's probably going to be real bad on the green screen behind me. But this is what I go there for.
God bless those pigs.
This and this. That is all I ever go in there for. That is the only aisle I am in. That is it. That is all I go in there for. If it's not this or this, I'm not in there. Like, that's the only thing I'm ever in there for. Ever. Oh, they're candles. Okay. Pagan, what's up, man?
Obviously, they're selling drugs out of the back, so it makes sense that they want to make checking out at this store as difficult as possible because they don't actually want to sell any of the fucking knickknacks because that's not how they make money. They make money off selling all the nose torque out of the back, right? So they're not going to want to sell the knickknacks, so that's why they make it as difficult as possible. Okay, it's got to be what's going on. So I finally get to check out. Very nice elderly woman there being my cashier. She's very polite. She's very friendly. I start full on interrogating this woman. I'm polite about it, but I'm like, do you like working here? And she's like, actually, I love working here. I've been here for fucking like 20 years. I'm like, okay, all right. And I'm like, well, what do you like about it? And she's like, well, they pay us a lot of money for how hard the job is.
I'm a big Vallejo fan.
You know, I like it. We get good benefits.
Too.
The company donates 50% of its profit to charity. And I'm like, okay, well, they're not selling drugs here. That's weird. And I'm like, do you mind me asking, like, how much do they pay you guys? And she's like, well, I've been here for 20 years. I make more than, you know, more than a lot of people here. But our starting salary is $19.25 an hour is our minimum wage here.
The fuck out of here. I'm serious. Yeah, no, I'm serious too.
Okay, now I'm completely flabbergasted. I'm now absolutely positive that I did die in a car wreck on the way here, and I am in fact stuck in purgatory. And she finishes checking out. I pay for my stuff, and I was like, "Am I allowed to leave?" And she's like, yeah. And I was like, if I walk out that door right now, it's not just going to turn into me walking back in, is it? And she just looks at me like I'm crazy because I fucking am at this point. And she's like, no. And then I walk out, I get in my car, and I fucking go home.
Son of a bitch. I am really mad that my ad blocker is not working. Like this is the third ad blocker I've been through that YouTube has found and kicked off. Like this is pissing me off. Screw you, YouTube. Screw you.
All right, so here's what happened. 1970, the founder of Hobby Lobby, David Green, took out a $600 loan and started making custom picture frames in his garage. And apparently that business went pretty well because by 1972, he opened up a 300 square foot arts and crafts store in Oklahoma City. And then 2 years later, he opens up another one, and then another one, and another one. And the next thing you know, he's got 1,000 arts and crafts stores all over the United States of America. How is that even possible? Well, in Oklahoma in the 1970s, when he was getting started, there was a humongous oil boom, and that's where like the oil industry is primarily located, is Oklahoma and Texas. So everybody that was living in that area had a bunch of excess money. So all the housewives and stuff were going and buying a bunch of arts and crafts and a bunch of fucking knickknacks, and it just made his business explode with the oil boom. And now, hindsight being 2020, when I'm not actively surrounded by all the knickknacks and arts and crafts, we're able to step back and actually analyze it. And the business model does really work because they're knickknacks, they're arts and crafts. They never go bad, right? Like it's not like a perishable item at a grocery store that like I need to sell this by this time frame. Like no, if I don't sell all the Christmas stuff this year, I'm just going to throw it in a box in the back and I'll pull it back out next Christmas season. We'll sell it then. So he really doesn't have anything going bad. He has no overhead as far as I'm going to lose this if I can't sell it right away. On top of that, I was correct. It was an abandoned Kmart. They literally go and seek out abandoned department stores to put Hobby Lobbies inside of to cut costs and overhead.
All right.
Shit just got real.
Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, it's actually the simplest business model on the planet. They just import a bunch of cheap shit from China, mark it up 10x, throw it on the shelf for a month. If it doesn't sell, they slap a 40% off poster on that entire shelf. Then people think they're saving money. They swoop in, they buy it all up, they assemble the arts and crafts themselves, and they sell it on Etsy. It's basically the spawn point for Etsy, essentially. It's just the chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A concept. They picked one thing they want to be good at, they became the best in the world at it. Okay, David Green is the Michael Jordan of selling arts and crafts and knickknacks. That's all there is to it. So how on earth did he do it? This is the crazy part. Nobody knows, including him.
No clue.
I literally read his entire book. It's
Mason?
called Leadership Not by the Book. And essentially, David Green is a super, super religious Christian man. He's literally the son of a preacher. And he basically says that Hobby Lobby is owned by God. He's just looking out for it. So whenever he has a big business decision to make, he prays about it and waits for God to tell him what to do. And then he does it. And somehow, it always works out. Like the dude is literally just running Hobby Lobby off of vibes and it's working. It's literally either got to be divine intervention or he's the luckiest man in the history of the planet. Now his religious convictions are also what drove him to do what I would deem as a lot of pretty good stuff, like giving all of his employees a $19.25 an hour minimum wage and benefits. They also donate
That's
50% of their
really
annual
good.
profits to charity, which at face value is just good in general, but also
Yeah,
if you're
also
working at
true,
that
Jim.
company making well above industry standard for being a cashier or a retail worker, and then you also get the added benefit of knowing that, like, hey, my company's making a bunch of money off my back, but a lot of that money's going back into charity. I'm doing some good in the world. So it's just good for the overall culture of the company. And then, of course, they're
I
closed
mean,
on
it's working
Sunday, which
out.
regardless of whether you're religious or not, if you work in retail, you know you're always working weekends. So it's nice for the retail workers to get a weekend day off to get the same day off as the rest of society.
Oh, here we
Now,
go.
those same religious convictions also get him in a bunch of trouble because they've had a ton of controversies. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the vast majority of them, in my opinion, are a gigantic nothing burger. They're basically people looking for reasons to get upset.
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
Except for that time they got busted for smuggling artifacts. That one was legit, but we'll get there. We'll just gloss over the other ones real quick. They got busted because they weren't selling enough Hanukkah stuff at their Christian arts and crafts store, which... okay, like I'm willing to bet they weren't.
Dude, why does this always have to be such a big deal? Like, I never understand this. We're a Christian company. Cool. Where's your Hanukkah stuff? We're a Christian company. Like, I don't, oh my God. The mental gymnastics sometimes. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. It's like going to an ice cream parlor, right? And then asking, where's your cupcakes? Why don't you sell cupcakes? What? There's no cupcakes here. Why don't you sell cupcakes? Another good, example of that would be like going to McDonald's. And yes, I know in foreign countries they do this, but here in America they don't do this. Where's your pizza? Hi, welcome to McDonald's. Do you have pizza? Like, I don't understand the outrage behind that.
Selling a lot of Muslim holiday stuff at the Christian arts and crafts store either. I don't go to Burger King and get mad they don't have fucking pizza. Like, you're looking for reasons to get upset. Okay, it's 2025. If a store doesn't have what you want, get on Amazon and order it. It'll be there tomorrow. Why are you picking fights for no reason? Next thing, they got in trouble over women's contraceptive with their insurance, and they actually took this case all the way to the Supreme Court. Like, David Green was willing to let Hobby Lobby go bankrupt and close all of them over this fight. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily a good thing, but part of me is always going to respect a man that's willing to put his balls on the line for what he believes in. So here's what happened. The birth control controversy gets played off like Hobby Lobby wasn't willing to pay for birth control with their insurance for any of its female employees. That's a partial truth. The actual truth is they weren't willing to pay for the morning after pill or the week after pill. All the other birth control was fine. Which, regardless of how you feel about it, that's on brand for an evangelical Christian. And
look, if you work there and you're not using the benefits to get birth control, once again, okay.
Whether that's right or not, I don't really have any strong convictions on, but I will say this. It seems very silly to take that court case all the way to the Supreme Court, spending millions and millions of dollars fighting for the right to force him to buy the morning after pill when the morning after pill is $10 fucking. You could have taken all the millions you spent trying to sue him into submission and bought every employee at Hobby Lobby 50 fucking morning after pills and gave it to him for free and just solved the fucking problem. And that's the majority of their controversy. They're all just culture war nonsense issues. But then we get to the religious artifact smuggling.
This is what I've been hoping he was going to hit. This is what I was hoping he was going to hit. Pizza Hut had to add rice to their orders in China because everyone expected. What? I haven't seen Festive. You should. Take it to the Supreme Court, Cosmic. Take it to the Supreme Court.
All right, so before we get into this, I got to give you guys some background on like tax law and tax code, just so we're all on the same page. Some of this is going to be a review for a lot of you guys, but some of this is just misconceptions that people have. Okay, so first thing we have to understand is what is a tax write-off, because a lot of people think they understand it, they actually don't.
It's when you buy something for your business and the government pays you back for it.
Oh, and who pays for it?
Nobody. You write it off.
With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for your dreams. So your dream car and vacation home may be closer than you think.
Oh, blah,
Ready to meet the
blah,
dream
blah,
team?
blah.
You can with Wells Fargo.
Buy our shit. Or
What if you can create your own
or in this
website
case,
by
put
saying,
your money
"This is
in
what
our
I
stuff
want."
so that we
With
can use
Wix,
your money
you
to
can.
buy our stuff.
People hear tax write-off and they think, oh, that's money that they save right out of the gate. That's not really how that works. So I'm just
No.
going to give you a real-life example to clear it up, okay? Hypothetically speaking, say that I make $100,000 a year and I donate $1,000 to charity, okay? People seem to have the conception that now I have to pay $1,000 less in taxes. That's not how that works. So you didn't actually save $1,000, you saved $400 and donated $600. Now it's like normal people doing charitable donation type stuff, but when rich people like billionaires and big companies, they have ways of getting tax write-offs that actually make them money. The most notorious and most famous is the fine art method, okay? So if a company like Hobby Lobby, hypothetically speaking, comes along and wants to invest in some
Yeah,
fine
the
art.
ads
Say they
definitely
go
pay
to a
for it.
fancy New York art gallery and they buy a painting for $100,000 and they sit on it for 5 years. And then 5 years later,
Sliver.
they hire some fancy
Mr.
art
Sliver.
appraiser to come in
I'll
and
call you
appraise
2000.
this piece of art. And the art
2K.
appraiser comes in and says, oh my God, this thing's absolutely brilliant. I think it's worth $20 million. Then the company can donate that artwork to a museum and their tax write-off is not for the $100,000 they spent on the painting. The tax write-off is for the $20 million that it's appraised at. So they didn't save 40% of 100,000. They didn't save that $40,000 in tax write-offs. They saved 40% of $20 million in tax write-offs. So effectively, they paid $100,000 to get out of paying millions of dollars in taxes. Is that right? I have no idea, but it's absolutely 100% legal. Hobby Lobby decided they were going to do the same thing, but instead of buying fine art, they decided that they were going to buy ancient religious artifacts because, well, that's what they're into. They're evangelical Christians. They want to be able to buy all these Christian artifacts as an investment, and then they could donate them to a museum, make sure that those things are then preserved for history, and they get to save millions of dollars in taxes while doing it. It's a win-win as far as they're concerned. So in like
So I remember hearing about this, but I didn't really dig in deep and like try to find out. He's making duck face. I really didn't dig in deep and try to find out like all the ins and outs of what they were doing. But now I kind of understand why Hobby Lobby was doing this with the way he described tax write-offs for fine art. And yeah, I get it now. But where I'm wondering is how does this go completely sideways to the point that it did? Because I remember this was what everybody was talking about for, well, let's face it, in the new social media age, everybody's got the capacity, the brain capacity of a goldfish. So, you know, the 3 days, the 2-3 days that this was talked about. And I remember it being a big deal, but like I said, I never dug real deep into it. I just kind of went, whatever. I go to Hobby Lobby, I buy my paintbrushes, I go home. That's really what I do.
2010, they just start buying up all the biblical artifacts that they can find. They have no experience in buying this stuff. And when you buy something like this, there's like channels and ways that you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to, I don't know, make sure it wasn't fucking stolen from another museum, for example. They don't do any of the checks. They were warned that they were going about this the wrong way. They just kept buying up thousands and thousands and thousands of artifacts, despite the fact they bought fucking chunks of the Dead Sea Scroll, which wound up later to be fake because, again, they didn't hire the right people to help them do this. And they ended up buying all these cuneiform tablets out of Iraq, including the Dream Tablet, which is part of the Epic of Gilgamesh. The Epic of Gilgamesh is one of the first human stories ever written down from Mesopotamia 3,500 years ago. Like, it's a pretty important artifact. It's literally like the Ark of the Covenant, Epic of Gilgamesh, and the Rosetta Stone. Like, it's crazy how important this artifact is.
Oops. Whoever they hired, bravo for fooling them, because damn. And it probably wasn't just one expert. It was probably a committee of experts that they hired. Damn.
And they bought it. And oddly enough, it ended up being looted from a museum in Iraq in 2003, and they were not supposed to have it.
That belongs in a museum.
Great movie.
So around this point, the government gets in.
First off, when it comes to Indiana Jones, that's where the movies stop for me. You got Raiders, you got Temple, and then The Last Crusade. There's no more Indiana Jones movies after that. Fight me. I don't care. There are no more Indiana Jones movies after Last Crusade. I don't care if you tell me that IMDb on the internet says that there's 2 more Indiana Jones movies. There are not. Those don't exist. They're not real. They're fan flicks. That's what they are. Well, so the way he explained it is, and once again, I am not a tax code genius or anything like that. The way he explained it is, so if somebody buys a painting, right? They spend $1 million on the painting, but it appraises at $20 million, then the tax write-off is on the appraisal, not what they spent. Why? What's wrong with Temple of Doom? Temple of Doom was just fine. Short Round was awesome. It's a prequel. Not many people know that. Temple of Doom is a prequel. It's a prequel. Takes place before Raiders. The bridge scene was fan-freaking-tastic. The chase scene through the mining tunnels, absolutely awesome. Big guy versus little guy, the big Indian guy versus Indy, awesome. I don't know. I really like Temple. It's not my favorite of all the Indiana Jones movies. I think my favorite is Raiders, but and then Crusade and then Temple. But I thought Temple was fine.
Involved, and they start asking questions, at which point, Hobby Lobby kind of pleads ignorant, I'm just, a billionaire and I didn't know that I had to go through all these checks and balances to buy this kind of stuff. They basically play it off like, I didn't know any better, my bad, which, you know what? Maybe, but they shot themselves in the foot, because when they imported them into the US, they had them labeled in US Customs as ceramic tile samples, which not true. So they ended up getting in a shit ton of trouble. They had to return the Epic of Gilgamesh and like 3,000 other artifacts over. They got returned to Iraq and Egypt, and they had to pay a $3 million fine. But there was a bunch of other artifacts that they did get to keep. And then with those artifacts, they had them appraised.
When are we gonna, look, I'm not trying to be tit for tat or anything, but like, when are we going to start questioning the Museum of England? Like, there is not one piece of English history there. It's all borrowed from other countries.
And I was able to find that the average appraisal that they got was approximately 3 times what they actually paid for them. And then they donated them to a museum and got a huge tax write-off. And that is where most people quit digging, because that was enough damning evidence, and most people just care about making Hobby Lobby look bad. I don't care about making Hobby Lobby look bad. I just want to know what the fuck happened. I like facts. I like the truth. So I asked one simple question. What museum did they donate them to? They donated them to the Bible Museum in Washington, D.C., to which I had one more question.
Wow.
Who owns the Bible Museum?
Oh, wow. This is gonna get crazy. There's a Bible museum in Kentucky as well. I went there. Oh God. It was over 20 years ago. It's probably 24 years ago, and they had started building a replica of Noah's Ark. Like the footprint that was there was absolutely huge. Don't they have like half of Athens in the British Museum? Yeah, half of Athens, and pretty much anything that was not nailed down in Egypt, and many other places that the great British Empire had touched, or been.
Motherfucking David Green, the same one that owns Hobby Lobby.
Oh, shit.
Do you
More
understand what I've just told you? Okay, dude literally became a billionaire by selling knickknacks and is like, you know what? I'm into religious artifacts. I'm gonna start a collection because I'm a billionaire and I can do whatever the fuck I want, which, you know what? Good for you. That's great. He starts his little collection and then he's like, you know what'd be cool if I donated these to a museum, but also I'm a collector. Collectors like having their own shit. That's the whole point of collecting something. How can I possibly get a humongous tax write-off and also get to keep all my cool shit? Oh, I know. I'll just own the museum that I'm donating stuff to so I still get to control everything. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know, but it's absolutely brilliant. So him being super religious is all just an act so he can look like a good guy, but he's actually not. No, that's not what that means at all. It is not hypocritical for a Christian to avoid taxes, okay? At no point in the Bible was Jesus ever like, hey guys, what if we gave the Romans more money? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not co-signing everything this guy does. I'm just saying I'm good at putting myself in other people's shoes to understand their perspective, and from a very...
And in that case, should Judas have donated back to the Romans his 30 pieces of silver? Just saying.
Very Christian man's perspective, being able to give less money to the government so they can, I don't know, buy $60,000 missiles to shoot at people that live in mud huts so he can collect biblical artifacts, put them in a museum, preserve them for everybody else, and share them with the world, hopefully convincing more people to become Christian to save them, is probably a net positive from his point of view. I'm just saying, you can call this guy a lot of things, but you cannot say he's not a legitimate, super devout Christian. Because at the end of the day, for better or worse, he was legitimately willing to close Hobby Lobby down over the Plan B thing, and he still gives away 50% of his profits to charity. Now, granted, some of that 50% of profits is him buying cool biblical artifacts and sticking them in his museum, but again, from his perspective, that's a good thing because he's sharing the word of God and trying to, you know, help educate people and preserve it for mankind.
I would say it's...
Facts are facts, and whether you like it or not, this is 100% legal, and I usually, more often than not, subscribe to the theory of don't hate the player, hate the game. I need to start a World War II museum, buy a bunch of cool shit, and then donate it to myself and save a bunch of money. Anyways, thanks for watching my knick-knack-induced panic attack. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
I love this guy's videos. I absolutely adore this man's videos. It's been a little while since I've watched one of his, but yeah, go check him out. Check out a bunch of his other videos. Yeah. So that was fun. That was fun. I do want to show you guys this. I'm probably going to get in trouble for showing the trailer because it's probably got music. Is it not on here? Oh, okay. I found this game. I'm not saying I'm going to buy it. I'm not saying I'm going to be like, you know, playing it 24/7. But I found this game trailer and it's interesting. Let's just put it that way. It looks interesting. And there was one moment that sold me on it. And if it ever goes free or is super cheap, I'll pick it up just so I can experience this moment. So yeah, here it is. It's called Strident. I do believe it's made by a Norwegian or Finnish company. I believe. So let's go. We'll check this out.
Aldrig kunde jag ana.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's in
möta detta öde. Men här står vi nu, ensamma i stormens öga, redo att resa våra röster, våra hjärtan, våra händer för friheten som ännu flödar i vårt blod.
You guys are seeing this, right? A cannon on a caribou or reindeer, whatever you want to call them. Fucking Rudolph has a cannon. That's kind of what I was telling you guys about. This is the part that sold me. I was like, what? Rudolph has a cannon? No. See? Got the recoilless rifle. Oh yeah, and there's bears. There's bears on the battlefield too. It's like a weird mix of like World War II meets some sort of, I don't know what to call it, Norwegian fever dream. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look terrible. Look, I'm just saying Rudolph with the cannon looks pretty cool. That's all I'm saying. I have not joined the early access. I did not pledge for my Rudolph cannon sleigh. I did not. I'm just saying looks interesting, right? It looks interesting. Could be cool. Could be an absolute total failure and a bomb. But hey, you know, I'm all about something new and interesting, right? Doesn't have to be the same old, same old. Oops. So there you go. There's a link for it. Check it out if you'd like. Go to the Steam page. Check it out. Like I said, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to join the instant access or the early access or anything like that. I'm not pledging for my Rudolph cannon. But anyways, that was called Stridon. Stridon. I don't. To hell. I don't know. What should we do next? We'll do one other video before I do the Star Citizen stuff. Yeah, Mason, I was like, the first time I saw it, because I watched it all the way through once, and I was like, you know what, maybe the guys might like this. The guys might like this. The right sliver. Oh man, I don't know. It like I said, it looked interesting. I thought maybe you guys might like it. You know, it's weird. Gives us something to talk about, right? You know, Rudolph, werebears, eating while running through combat. I mean, there's a lot to talk about and unpack there. It looked interesting, so I figured I'd share it and pass it on. So I guess let's talk about no. That's true. I mean, we butcher our own language. Let's talk about the 90s lunches and how they were probably super poisonous.
Picture it. You're in middle school, and the morning has been dragging on. That lunch bell finally rings as you open up your snack box. After struggling to stay awake all morning, you reach for that manna from the heavens and pull out a container that holds as much sugar as a half pint of ice cream. It's juice time, baby. While many coasted through childhood in a veritable sugar haze, it turns out all the fruit punches, apple juices, and colorful elixirs we were throwing back in the cafeteria didn't always have our good health in mind. But how can drinks that taste vaguely like fruit be bad for us? Well, today the juice is loose as we chug down all the lunchbox juices that were...
Look, I remember this stuff, and it was pretty damn good. I knew back then it probably wasn't good for you, but damn, did it taste good.
Trying to kill us. But before we drink to that, why don't you slam down that subscribe button? Then head on down to the comments and let us know what other retro refreshments you want to know about. For now, can someone open this for me?
Oh, those things were a pain in the ass. That was the thing about straws on the side of juice boxes, right? Either they just fell out or you couldn't get the damn thing open, right? It was never in the middle. It either fell out of the little plastic that it was in, or you couldn't get the plastic open. And then my favorite is it either went through the little foil thing when you stabbed it, or it snapped your straw in half. There was never an in between. It snapped in half, or it went straight through.
Ever since lemonade was introduced to Italy from the Middle East in the 16th century,
Yeah, we had
people
those too,
have
Jim.
loved the
We had
idea
those too.
of sipping on juice. But aggressively sugary juice drinks that feature little to no fruit juice didn't begin dominating the lives of children until the 1970s. And then all the
Sounds
way through
about
the
right.
90s and beyond. Studies have shown that the high sugar content...
Does anybody... Oh, Ecto Cooler was good too. Does anybody remember the outrage with Capri Sun? God, it had to be right around 2000, somewhere between 2010 and 2014, where people were getting the Capri Suns, putting their straw in there and starting to suck, and then they were getting big wads of mold through the straw and into their mouth. And now, ever since then, if you take a Capri Sun and you turn it over, the little pouch, and look on the inside, it's clear, so you can see if it has mold or not. That's pretty freaking disgusting. Me too, Jim. Me too. I was on the reduced lunch program throughout school. If I got juice boxes, it wasn't my parents buying them, it was my grandma. My grandma would buy the High C, the Ecto Coolers, Kool-Aid Squeeze-Its. Trying to remember all the like weird shit she would buy. Pepsi Clear. You know, I didn't get any of that stuff from my parents. That was all my grandma buying that and giving it to us. It's terrible, but hey, we loved her, so it was awesome.
Color dyes and artificial sweeteners present in many children's juice drinks have contributed to obesity, type 2 diabetes, hyperactivity, and, of course, scores of dental cavities. The Food and Drug Administration has strict rules about what is allowed to be called juice and what isn't. If a product wants to call itself 100%
Pop
fruit
Rock was
juice,
good too.
that claim must be true. Anything less must be labeled as drink, beverage, or cocktail. And what's more, the actual juice percentage as well as any added ingredients have to be clearly listed on the label. Seriously, you do not want to mess around with the juice police. Brands can.
Look, I'm all about the FDA, like, you know, trying to protect consumers and stuff like that. But let's face facts. It all comes down to money and time, and they don't have enough time to regulate all the new drugs, foods, and everything else that comes out. And, you know, like any government or company, money goes a long way in letting certain things slide.
Sometimes circumvent these regulations by getting cutesy with their labeling. Like Sunny D, for instance, uses marketing that focuses on vitamin content and...
My parents didn't buy much Sunny D. Every once in a while we would get it, and I mean like every once in a while. But grandma made sure at her place she had some Sunny D for us.
Real fruit imagery, while never actually claiming to be fruit juice. And in fact, the high sugar contents undermine any actual health benefits. And you'll find that's not an isolated incident in the juice biz. The originator of this juicy trend can be traced back to the late 19th century, when Thomas Bramwell Welch created a new process for pasteurization. This new process prevented grape juice from fermenting into wine, a process Welch hoped
probably
he'd convince
have,
his local
but I
church
should
to use as a
rewatch it.
substitute for communion wine. While that didn't end up panning out, his innovation was used to create Welch's Grape Juice Company in 1893, which struck purple gold during the temperance movement as a non-alcoholic alternative. Other brands would soon jump on this trend, like Mott's Apple Juice in the early 20th century. But it wasn't until the 1950s when Kool-Aid revealed its eye-catching Pitcher Man commercial that marketing firms had the aha moment of selling juice directly to children, and they never looked back.
For the very best drink you ever made.
Despite the popularity juice drinks saw throughout the 20th century, pediatricians in the 1990s began pushing back against these sugary drinks, with parents joining the fray. By 1997, Americans were consuming billions of gallons of juice annually, and children under 12 were chugging more than their fair share. As childhood obesity and food allergies began to arise, the American Academy of Pediatrics asked families to tone down their sugary drink intake, especially with children under...
You know, my kids, they drink a lot. Hey, Adam, what's up, man? My kids drink a lot of water. I mean, a lot of water. We very rarely let them have, like, they almost never get soda or pop, whatever you want to call it. Like, they get pop every once in a while. Like, every once in a while they get it. Like, Memorial Day party, 4th of July party, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you know, at a birthday party. That's when they get pop. But for the most part, it is water, 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 water. Friday nights we let them have juice. You know, they burn out. So we got like the refrigerator. So we got a double filter system. We got a filter coming in from the house, and then we got a filter on the refrigerator. That's where they get all their water from. And I burn through those filters so fast. They're supposed to last 90 days. They last maybe a month and a half. Maybe. That sucks, Adam. That sucks a lot.
Too. So, while their heydays may have passed, we won't soon forget some of these lunchbox legends. Before it was Sunny D, 1963 knew the familiar bright orange beverage as Sunny Delight. According to their website, two Florida dads named Howard Dick and Phil Grinnell saw what orange juice was doing and said, we can make it better. Using water, fruit juices, citric acid, sweeteners, sodium, and high fructose corn syrup, they made a drink they were sure kids would love. And while it was marketed as a healthier alternative to soft drinks, in reality, it contains only 4 to 5% fruit juice.
And look at that. Look at how many sugars per serving. Like that's half of a Mountain Dew right there. Right there, that's half of a Mountain Dew. I have an empty Coke can sitting here. It's basically half of a Coke. Right there. Look at the sodium. It's got way more sodium than a Coke does. Yeah. You're basically drinking a Coke.
The rest is sugary syrup. Since it can't legally call itself fruit juice, Sunny D is technically classified as a soft drink. But whatever was in it, the kids went gaga over it. Sunny Delight gained massive popularity in the 1990s as advertised drink. But whatever was in it, the kids...
Is that Stifler? Hold on a second. I can't get a good pause on that. You know, it might help, Scarred, you idiot. Oh, no, it isn't 1080. It's a 90s commercial, that's why.
As a soft drink. But
I think that's Stifler from the American Pie movies.
Whatever was in it, the kids went gaga
That's
over it.
Stifler.
Sunny Delight gained massive popularity in the 1990s as advertising campaigns squeezed the airwaves with ads decrying normal drinks like OJ and purple stuff for that golden, tangy Sunny D.
Let's see, we got soda, purple stuff. Sunny D, all right.
By 1998, Sunny Delight was one of the most popular soft drinks in the UK, second only to Coke and Pepsi in sales. So popular, in fact, that in 1999, a 4-year-old girl's skin turned orange from drinking over 1.5 liters of it a day. As the years went on, so did the release of new flavors, such as orange strawberry, orange mango, orange peach, fruit punch, blue raspberry, lemonade, and orange pineapple. Sunny D saw multiple rebrands since its introduction, including replacing the word delight with a simple D. They saw a 30% rise in sales after their acquisition by Harvest Hill Beverage Company in 2017. After negative publicity in 2009, the drink was reformulated in the UK with 70% fruit juice and no artificial ingredients or added sugar. But perhaps its most successful reboot was when Sunny D introduced a vodka seltzer line in 2023 with their familiar orange taste, zero sugar, and a smooth 4.5% alcohol. And while it may not have your 100% daily vitamin C like the original, the lack of sugar almost makes the vodka seltzer a safer option. By mid-century, young and old were enjoying whatever.
I'm actually old enough to remember High C in a can. Now, that doesn't mean I was old enough to buy High C in a can. Actually, no. High C they still sold High C in a can in the mid 80s. I'm pretty sure it was like you could get it in a can, a bottle, or the little cartons. Pretty much, Jim. Honestly, it's to help with the flavoring of their food. The drunker they get, the better the food tastes.
Kinds of juices they could get their hands on.
Sorry,
with orange
bad joke.
juice becoming more available and more popular as the decade went on, Niles Foster saw this and decided to take a crack at it on his own, inventing High C in 1946 and taking it to market the following year. Initially only available in orange flavor, the drink was packaged in large 56-ounce steel cans that were coated internally with an enamel that prevented corrosion. This meant that High C required no refrigeration before opening, which everyone agreed was probably fine. The original formula combined 10% orange juice concentrate with sugar, orange peel oil, orange essences, citric and ascorbic acids, with the High C moniker meant to reference its high vitamin content. After test marketing the drink in 1947, High C was launched nationally, starting out in the southern United States and expanding to California by 1949. The company was sold to the Minute Maid Corporation in 1954 and is now sold in various forms such as drink boxes, soda fountains, and drink mixes. Popular flavors during High C's rise to prominence were original orange, grape, apple, cherry, orange pineapple, pineapple grapefruit, Florida punch, and peach.
I remember these
Specialty
cans.
flavors were introduced such as flash and fruit punch, orange lava burst, and torrential tropical punch.
No,
but we know that
what? Okay, he's gonna. I was about to lose it.
there's a flavor that has been creeping up inside your brain since we uttered the words High C. Ecto Cooler.
Hell
Originally
yeah.
Citrus Cooler, the 1980s saw a rebrand of the drink to coincide with the cartoon The Real Ghostbusters. Ecto Cooler was sold in the late 1980s and featured the cartoon version of Slimer on the packaging, a trend that would last until 2001, when the flavor was discontinued.
It lasted
saw
that long.
brief resurgences in 2016 and 2021, linked to the two Ghostbuster reboots. Though obtaining the limited supply of ectoplasmic elixir was a task in and of itself.
Probably. My grandma was another one that used to buy these things all the time. And remember when I said we let my kids have juice on like Fridays when they're having pizza and stuff? This is what they get. It's terrible and we know it, but hey, that's their thing they get once a week, basically. Otherwise, it's just straight water all the time.
1974, a company with the very inconspicuous name of the American Beverage Corporation introduced the world to Little Hug fruit barrels. The ABC was already producing fruit drinks, ready-to-go alcoholic beverages, and cocktail mixers. But with their new 8-ounce barrel-shaped bottles with the foil caps, they created the first single-serve kids drink on the market, and really tapped into something great. A staple of family barbecues and birthday parties alike, Little Hugs featured all the finest flavors a kid could ask for, including lemonade, orange, fruit
They have
punch,
a weird
blue raspberry,
aftertaste.
grape, kiwi, strawberry, tropical punch, and cherry berry, all sized to fit perfectly in one of those blue plastic coolers everyone's parents seem to have. There was just something about that barrel shape that made
it's
them as
milk
fun
and
to
water for
hold
my
as
kids.
they were to drink. In March of 2000,
They don't. We live in the South, but none of them like tea or sweet tea or anything like that. They don't. They just don't like it. To be honest with you, so when we moved down here, we had to have the kids stay with my in-laws, and then we came back and like worked on the house and until it got sold. But they never really asked for candy and things like that. It wasn't until they stayed with my in-laws that started to get broken. It was mostly fruits until then.
2015, the American Beverage Corporation sold the Little Hug brand to Harvest
That's how it
Hill
was with
Beverage
me
Company
growing up too,
for a
Jim.
whopping $55 million.
But see, when I was growing up, my parents still wouldn't splurge on pizza. Instead, my grandma had given my mom one of those mid 90s, late 90s, it was early 90s actually, bread dough machines, and she would make pizza dough in that, and then my parents would make homemade pizza, and then we'd have soda or juice or whatever. Honestly, it was a lot of Kool-Aid, a lot of water. Grandma would come over with the big things of Sunny D, but yeah, cereal came out of a bag, not the box with the cool characters on it. Came out of a bag, and we put it in the big plastic container things. You guys know what I'm talking about. We didn't like, we got the knockoff brand Cocoa Puffs, right? Not yeah. Big bag. Not the little boxes, big bag.
Harvest Hill was also notable for obtaining both Juicy Juice and Sunny D. Like Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones, Harvest Hill won't rest until they have all the juices. This acquisition saw a
I got a good one for you
down
guys
of the
in a
overall
minute.
sugar content in the beloved juice barrels, and a renewed interest in the brand overall. Little Hugs even sponsored multiple races at Roush
cool.
Fenway Racing after partnering with them in 2017. So you can watch a Hug-branded car hugging some serious turns. Little Hugs actually feature less sugar than competing fruit drinks, with a 2013 report claiming up to 75.
Look, they have less sugar in them, but there's something off with, like, the lemon one tastes fine, the lime one tastes fine. I think it's the purple one tastes fine, but the strawberry kiwi, the blue raspberry, the cherry berry, they all have a weird aftertaste.
% less sugar.
Something's
However,
off with them.
The use of artificial sweeteners such as aspartame,
That's what it
sucralose,
is right there.
and acesulfame.
That's what it is right here. It's the aspartame. And I'm sure this isn't good for you either.
Potassium tend to give pediatricians pause. While these ingredients are approved by the FDA, they remain controversial regarding safety, especially for children. But those little barrels are just too...
And now, if I was Alex Jones, I'd be screaming, "It's turning the frogs gay!" But I'm not him.
hard to resist. A relative latecomer to the lunchbox juice game came into the scene guns a-blazing.
I like that.
Only because their bottles could be used as a water gun after you finished the juice.
That's
Launched
true.
by General Mills in 1987 as a test for Denver markets, the boisterous General Mills beverage Squeeze It eventually became popular enough to expand nationwide, becoming one of the top-selling packaged juices in the U.S. in the early 90s. If the name doesn't ring a bell, the commercials definitely will to those who
My grandma got these, and yes, I remember these commercials on Saturday mornings.
Grew up in front of the TV. Each hourglass-shaped plastic bottle featured a different distinct character's face, each with their own lore and personalities. The massive marketing campaign introduced kids to Chucklin' Cherry, Smarty Arty Orange, Silly Billy Strawberry, Berry Be Wild, Rockin' Red Puncher, Mean Green Puncher, and Grumpy Grape, later renamed Galloping Grape after an attitude adjustment. And while the style is popular now, Squeeze It was notable for being the first fruit drink available in a squeezable
And now
bottle.
Kool-Aid's got their own.
Somebody had to invent it. Despite the memorable commercials, the introduction of silly characters wasn't enough to make Squeeze It a lasting property. Sales began to decline in 1992
And the frog's gay.
and continued steadily downward until they were fully discontinued in 2001. Part of
What?
Squeeze It's
Really?
downfall may have been due to changing health trends of the time, where a drink with only 10% fruit juice and the remainder being balanced out by a considerable amount of sugar suddenly found itself
Sugar
abandoned
makes
on the
everything
store
better.
shelves. Parents apparently weren't thrilled with their children exceeding half of the recommended sugar intake in one goofy-faced bottle. Whatever the reason for consumers
That's
slowly
true,
squeezing out
Ryan.
Squeeze-Its, General Mills made a
one
valiant effort
and
to
it was
keep
over.
the juices flowing. 100% fruit concentrate versions were released in 1993, followed by special color-changing bottles in 1996.
I
a
don't
small
remember
tablet
those.
that could be dropped into the drink to magically change shades. Additional partnerships with Lifesavers and re-releases in 2006 and 2007.
remember this.
had
I remember the
fans
Jurassic
hopeful
Park
that
one.
The resurgence of Squeeze It might be on the horizon. But so far, there are no plans to bring the gang back for a reboot. We'll never see how Galloping Grape has evolved. So what do
remember
you
those
think?
commercials.
Do you miss two sugary
So
drinks from the
wild.
past? Let us know your favorites down in the comments.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Brought back a lot of memories. Brought back a lot of memories of young Scarred and his brothers. Many good memories. So I have an idea for you. For those of you that have kids, grandkids, little nieces and nephews, whatever. If you find yourself watching them, I got a fun little project for you, and it does involve food. So most people throw away the heels of their bread, whether you eat white bread, wheat bread, doesn't matter. A lot of people throw away the heels of their bread. I have a better idea. This is something that me and my family do occasionally. What we do is we will take a big, like, gallon freezer Ziploc bag, and we take all the heels of the loaves of bread, and we throw them in there, right? So 2 every time. We throw them in there. We wait until basically the bag can't hold any more frozen pieces of bread, and then we pull them out of the freezer. We let them thaw out. You know, put your favorite thing down, parchment paper, foil, doesn't matter, right? You put them down. You put your thawed out heels of bread down, and you get a jar of spaghetti sauce or pizza sauce or whatever you prefer, right? And you have the grandkids, the kids, the nieces, the nephews, the what have yous, and spread your pizza sauce on there. Throw a little mozzarella, get the little mini pepperonis, or, you know, the sausage crumbles or whatever you like, and then throw them into the oven, and there you go. You got little mini pizzas. And, you know, obviously, you know, you throw in some green peppers, some onion, black olives, whatever you want to do. Everybody can make their own little pizza, or, you know, if they're bigger kids, their own, like, 4 or 6 or 8 little pieces of pizza. It honestly, it works pretty well. You know, you could get a little family time out of it. Everybody gets to make their own little thing, and then you get to eat afterwards. I don't know, it's a pretty good deal. That we've done that quite a bit. It's a good time when we do it. We're always having fun when we do it. At least I am. Kids seem like they're having fun, but yeah, frozen heels of bread. I mean, so until you get enough of them, and then thaw them out. Little pizza sauce or spaghetti sauce, whatever you fancy, some matzah, and then whatever your favorite toppings are, or make a whole bunch of them, and people can make whatever kind of pizza they want. It's fun. We have a good time. I think it's super fun. That's another good use for them too, Cosmic. That's another good use for them too. I mean, the other thing that we do, you know, I learned this from Sesame Street. I'm old school Sesame Street guy. You know, when you have hot dogs, right? There's never enough hot dogs for the buns, right? You always have 2 buns left over. So what we would do is I learned it from Sesame Street. Banana in the first hot dog bun, open up the hot dog bun, put peanut butter on one side, jelly on the other, banana down the middle, and you got yourself a peanut butter and jelly banana dog. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I will say that. It's pretty good. All right. It is time. If you are super enthused about Star Citizen, this next video might get you a little riled up. So if you don't want to watch, I'm fine with that. If you do want to watch, be forewarned, This next video is probably going to get you a little riled up, and it may not even be the guy that gets you riled up. It's probably going to be me that gets you riled up if you're super into Star Citizen. So, we'll just leave it at that. Luke Stevens, the Star Citizen community is losing patience with the devs. Ooh. Hot take right there. Let's see what Luke has got to say. Luke.
You can get this fixed now and pay later. You can get this fixed now and pay later. And this, get it fixed now and pay later in 4 interest-free payments at safelight.com.
Safelight repair, Safelight replace.
Dude, what is this? Star Citizen Week in Review 4.3 is released and we get gaslit. Gaslight level 100. I've heard from so many people in the last handful of weeks that Star Citizen and the community is starting to like actually lose their minds, because content creators are asking to be able to like, they want to call this stuff out. They want to be able to bring it up and like call out the devs.
Okay. I don't really give a shit about the content creators. Like, I mean, yes, I do, but I don't. Not. It's a weird thing because, like, yes, I do care about the content creators. Like, that's how they make money. That's, you know, that's what they enjoy doing. Blah blah blah. But look, it is what it is, right? And I want to see if I can find it again. I probably can't. It was a Reddit post. Here we go. 20 hours ago. You're probably not going to be able to see that. No, my green screen's going to mess with it. The post is from 20 hours ago. It's called Patch Deletes Tons of People's Ships, but Not Paid For Ones. I'm going to bring up something very controversial, and you can go back and you can look it up and you can attempt to debate me on this if you want. But way back about 2.5 years ago, there was this patch that came out. It was called 3.18, and in it had the ever righteous Jesus tech called persistent entity streaming. And with persistent entity streaming, we were supposed to get long-term, what would they call it? Long-term, I'm fumbling this. Long-term persistence. Long-term persistence on our vehicles, on our ships, on our components, but not necessarily consumables or magazines and things like that. But we were supposed to get long-term persistence on our vehicles, on our ships, on that sort of stuff. And then 3.18.1 came out and almost everything got wiped again. And then 3.18.2 came out and almost everything got wiped again. Now, I was sitting on the sidelines because I was locked out, but all my friends, some of which are content creators and some of which are not, lost ship after ship after ship after ship. And then I finally got back in. And then 3.19 came out. I lost all my stuff. And then 3.19.1 came out and I lost all my stuff again. Then 3.19.2 came out and I lost all my stuff again. And that doesn't include all the hot fixes, and I lost all my stuff again. Now, we were told back then, and I would have to dig and dig and dig to find the Spectrum post, but we were all told, don't worry, guys. The next patch, you'll get all your ships back because we have long-term persistence, and we know what you had and didn't have, and we'll make sure that you get all your missing ships back, and we'll take care of it for you. And that never happened. And then fast forward to 3.20, and at that time, persistence wasn't quite ready, so we lost more stuff. And then 3.21, I think it was, or 3.20. or 3.20.2, somewhere around there, long-term persistence was enabled. And we were no longer going to lose stuff. That was in 2023. I want to say it was. Yeah, it was 2023. It was March of 2023 was when 3.18 came out. Here we are, 3 years later in 2025, and everybody still loses half of the shit that they bought in the game. Every time. It doesn't matter how you store them. Doesn't matter if you went to your home location, you stripped all the components and all the weapons that you bought off and put them in storage and put all the original parts and all the original components back on, you still lose it. Still lose it. Now it's random. Sometimes if you bought 25 ships in that patch, you might lose 2. You might lose none. You could lose all 25. So, like, when are we going to start calling them out on this shit? It can't be just me. It can't just be Grumpy. It can't just be Salty. It has to be all of the people that pay for this game and run to the store with their credit cards or run to the store with their credit and melt shit or get gift cards or however the fuck they do this and buy all of these new ships every time they come out. When are we going to start calling them out on it? We're at 1.1 or 1.2 billion dollars. That's with outside investors. That's not just fan funding. That's with outside investors. We're at 1.1 or 1.2 billion dollars. When do we start calling them out for this? I know what he's going to talk about, and he's going to talk about the hangar, or he's going to talk about freight elevators. You know what? I'll stop right there. There has to be an accountability here. There is no accountability at CIG. Look, I talk shit right now. I still love the game. I still watch other people play the game. Why? Because I love the game. I love the vision that was sold to me, and I want that vision of that game to be a real thing. Like, I want it to be a real thing. Like, when we can't keep doing this where we are waiting for Jesus Tech for 5 years, 6 years, 2 years, whatever it may be, and then we get it, and then boom, it's gone. We suddenly don't remember it anymore. We don't know, like where is it? Like, where is it? We don't have any of this stuff. So yeah, and there needs to be an explanation for it. But anyways, let's let Luke go. Let's see what he's going to say. I know he's going to bring up the freight elevators because I saw this video, not the Luke video, but the Salty video.
It's for stupid stuff they're doing, but they feel like if they do, they immediately get shut down by their own community. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Yeah, it's just shocker.
They get shut down by their own community, and then they go, here's a shiny new ship, and everybody goes, oh my fucking god, buy it.
Star Citizen is a bit of a mess, and the community is frustrated because it feels like the devs only care about money and are not concerned with the long-term health of the game. And the problem is right now that Star Citizen has a lot of money, but they also have a ridiculously massive enterprise to keep going with that money, and they don't have any seemingly game plan beyond hope for monetizing it long term. Because I'm telling you what, if you try to release Star Citizen's shop of like $1,500 ships, $800 ships, $300 ships, and you try to release that on the PlayStation Store, Xbox, Steam, it will not go over well. It just won't.
So here's another thing too. If you guys haven't noticed this, I'm gonna point this out for you guys. Have you guys noticed that when you watch the commercials for Star Citizen, they no longer say alpha or pre-alpha. Alpha, playable now. Play the alpha. It no longer says that. It just says play Star Citizen and has a link. Or play now and it has a link. They're moving away from the alpha moniker on this, and they have been for a while. But it's become a lot more blatant recently with all their ship commercials they've been coming out with month after month after month.
Review bombing. I mean, just you wait. You can't do that. Like the casual, quote unquote, casual audience that's not hardcore into Star
Just drinking
Citizen
one
already,
of those poison
they
juices.
will not tolerate that. So they have to find some way of reworking it to appeal to the mass market where they'll accept it and they can make money from that audience. But the entire game is built around these egregious microtransactions. So what the hell do you do? Like they have to
see.
stop.
That's the thing. That's the thing that in the last 6 months to a year really started getting pounded into my head. Is it's not a game. It's a store with gameplay. Like that's the biggest thing that got pounded into my head, or that I woke up to is. And look, if I had an account, I'd probably still jump in once a month to check stuff out, see what's going on. If something was exciting, maybe play for a weekend or 2 weekends, and then I'm done for a while. But like that was the thing that I started really noticing, is that it is not a game. It's not a testing environment. They say it is, but it's not. It is a store with elements of gameplay. That's what it is. And the problem is that they've gone so far down this road is that they can't turn around and come back. They can't anymore. There's no, they can't come back from that. It's like Prometheus and fire. Now that everybody has fire, you can't take the fire back. Now that they've gone this far down that path, they can't turn around and come back anymore. It's over. That path has been blocked off. They now have to continue down this path in order to keep the lights on, to keep the money flowing, to keep making features of this game so that they can maybe release it one day. But I don't see how this is going to continue to be sustainable for much longer, especially if investors start calling those put options. That's going to be, in my opinion, 2027. That's the knife edge that they're riding. They're running towards the cliff at Mach 6 right now. Once 2027 hits, we'll see what the Calderas do. And if Squadron 42 ain't out by then, there could be some problems.
The gravy train now to shift it to a different track and get going again. But nobody wants to stop the gravy train because they're doing quite well on it. And it's not guaranteed that...
I mean, all they have to do is announce a new ship. It's a big capital ship. And people run and spend money. Look at the Icarus. Look at how fast Icaruses sell every year. And now they're doing 25 waves of Icarus.
Even after you switch tracks,
I
you'll
think
still
so.
make money.
I think so,
it's still
Jim.
not guaranteed. Like you might switch tracks and then find out.
Yeah, that was another thing, Jim. I just saw that. Now you never lose gear. Remember that was supposed to be short term? That was supposed to be short term. How many months has it been? Because I don't rightly know. How many months has tier 0 item recovery been around? Because that was supposed to be temporary. I remember bringing this up when they first announced it, and I said it on Twitter. I said it in one of the Reddits, and I said it in a few comment sections on YouTube. And I was shamed. I was shamed because it's temporary. 25 more waves of Icarus sales, not a variant. 25 more waves of Icarus sales are coming end of this month, beginning of next month. I don't know.
nobody on PlayStation or Steam or Xbox gives a crap. Yeah, the single player campaign, Squadron 42, that's what I mean when they say they're relying on hope. The hope is they release Squadron 42 and that generates a big influx of cash and it funnels new players into the persistent universe. It's not the craziest idea, but ultimately it is a matter of hoping that, for one, it reviews well, because like non-hardcore Star Citizen fans are going to rely on reviews to determine whether it's worth $70 or $60, whatever they charge for it. It's also not clear to me if single player gamers who play Squadron 42, it's not clear to me that they would convert into the persistent universe. They some of them will, certainly, but I don't know if that number is 5% or 20% or 30% or 80%. I don't know what percentage converts, but I don't think it's a ridiculous amount. Because
first off, goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. Bye-bye. So first off, everybody I don't want to say everybody. There's a lot of people that tell me very frequently that don't worry, Squadron's going to sell well. It's going to do well, blah, blah, blah. It's going to do really great things. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so let's put facts first and then I'll put opinion or subjectiveness on there. The fact is that space simulator games, oh yeah, I did, huh? Shit. Now I gotta figure out how to unblock that. God, being tired sucks. All right, I think I fixed it. I fixed it. This is who I wanted to ban. That's the one. All right. My bot should be fixed now. I hope so. Mod. Yeah. Okay. We should be good. We should be good. All right. Anyways, okay, so what was I saying? Right. Squadron 42 is a niche game. It's a niche genre, and that niche genre, in order to do well, isn't exactly have a high bar, right? It's not like a first person shooter like Call of Duty or Apex or a Battlefield or anything like that. It's not a hardcore milsim tactical shooter like Squad or Tarkov, or extraction shooter Tarkov, or even a DayZ, or let's flip it onto another one. It's not a Pal World, which yes was a flash in the pan. It's not a Helldivers experience. It's not Mario Kart. It's not Mario Party. It's not anything like that. Squadron 42 is niche. And then what the hour and a half that we were shown at SitCon last year, it's very on the rails and very cinematic. Yes, exactly. You're right. I might have to, yes. I might have to. I'll have to go through and figure that out, because yeah, let me see. I don't want to block. There we go. And there we go. Thank you, Sliver. Thank you. What was I saying? Niche, on the rails, blah, blah. And the last thing is I think that a majority of people that were going to buy Squadron 42 already bought Squadron 42. So making that money back is going to be really, really, really hard. Just my opinion. And that's subjective. That's subjective. And so is it's on the rails and whatnot. But it is a super niche game.
They're fundamentally different experiences. One is like scripted and linear, or sort of linear, and narrative focused. One is much more about player agency and freedom. So they're just fundamentally different. And I also think even after you've funneled some of those people through, because we're talking about brand new players who have never touched Star Citizen before, they try Squadron 42. Ooh, I really like that. Let me move over to the persistent universe. And I think if they go over there and then they're exposed for the first time, because there's some people that have never been exposed to like the Star Citizen pricing schemes for ships and stuff, it's going to be a bit of shell shock. And I understand people who play it are like, well, you don't have to buy it. You can play without buying it. But pretty much everybody I've ever talked to in regards to Star Citizen who says you don't have to buy those ships.
So, yeah, Adam, that sucks because you won't be able to buy it back at the price that you bought it at originally because due to EU laws, they had to take it away until it's ready to be released. They can't sell an unfinished product like that. At least that's how it was explained to me.
Like,
1 second, guys. Okay. Sorry. I hate when people ring the doorbell and like you're not expecting anybody. It always feels weird. And we have a no solicitor thing on our door and we have a no solicitor thing in our neighborhood and they still show up.
I'm trying to think of an exception, but I think every single person I've talked to who has said that has also spent hundreds of dollars minimum on ships.
Yep.
And like, okay, so it's possible to have fun with the game without spending money, but you're still spending lots of money. Maybe it's because you just love the game so much, you know?
It's because they don't want to. Okay. I'll let them continue. I mean, that's true, Adam, but they also had to remove it from the store. You can't buy Squadron 42 on the store anymore.
And like, you're an adult. You can spend money however you want. That's fine. I'm not like, how dare you?
Okay, so they spend money like that, Luke, because they don't want to grind for the ships that make them the easiest amount of money. And because of the way wipes or partial wipes or not really a wipe, but kind of a wipe works, they don't want to lose the ship that they did all the grinding for to get. So that's where the problem comes in. But he's right. They're an adult. They can spend the money however they want. I'm just pointing out the fact that that's why a lot of people buy ships. Not always, but yes.
I don't give a crap. Okay. It's your money. Spend it how you want. But my point is,
yeah,
if you're trying, like, their whole thing is that they need to get more people funneled into the universe to start spending money as they scale it up to 1.0 and launch it. And I just don't think the
Sliver, my opinion on what's going to happen after this game goes to 1.0 is I think they're going to do one of a couple of different models, and the ones that I've thought the most about that they might do would be first and foremost a monthly subscription, you know, $14.99, $19.99, $25.99, $29.99. I don't know. That's I think that's going to be a thing. Or they're going to sell ships like they do now in concept form or soon to be released form. And then if you bought that ship, you will be the first one to have it for that patch cycle, whether it's 90 days, 6 months, a year. I think that's what's going to happen. You're right, Mason, but I view it this way. Like, you are an adult and it's your money, you worked for it, and you can spend it how you please. Like, I don't think you should be buying, you know, an 8-ball of Coke and snorting it in one night. But if that's how you want to do it, then go ahead and do it. I don't think it's good for you. I think it's bad for you, and I don't think you should do it. But it's your money, and I'm not going to stop you. That's what I think, Sliver, because they can't keep the money rolling in like this if they don't do something like that. And the problem is, right now, you have, what is it? 3 offices on 2 continents, possibly 4. I don't remember if Turbulent got shut down or not. I think it did. I think Turbulent did get shut down. But anyways, you got 3 offices on 2 continents, and one of those offices isn't even finished. They're only using a third of it. And they have 1,300, somewhere between 1,100 and 1,300 employees. And as much as Star Citizen fans don't want to admit this, you have a certain family used to certain living standards, and they need to continue to live that way. So I'm just saying, like, they have to make money somehow, and that's how they're going to do it. They're either going to do subscription based, or they're going to sell ships that are soon to be released or in concept, and then when they come out, you'll get to fly them first if you bought it for, you know, X amount of time before everybody else gets it. So I really think that's how they, if we get to 1.0, that's still a big if.
The more like mass market broad appeal, I don't think they will tolerate or allow for the pricing conventions currently at play within Star Citizen.
No.
I just don't think that converts well. No. And so I think if they want to appeal to the mass market, they need to scale down the selling the ships. They need to cut out the stupid crap with like selling blades and the ship augments and stuff. They can't do that at all. Because
the worst part, though, and I don't think he's going to cover it, but I think the most egregious act of the Star Citizen store is the armor, the weapons, that stuff. Like, I think that is the most egregious act right there, is that stuff. And unfortunately, there's no way of taking it back, and at least not that I know of. Everything is individualized. So there's they would have to work very long and hard to pull that off of each individual item and turn them into skins, because I think skins would be a better option than just selling the whole gun or the whole piece of armor or whatever. But yeah, that's got to stop.
The main like gaming community is not going to tolerate that. We freak out over like $30 skins.
Oh, I forgot about that, Cosmic.
Freaking, like
I forgot about that, Cosmic. Yeah, by the end of the summer, blades were supposed to be in game. I forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up, Cosmic. I totally forgot about that.
You remember like the $80 mount in WoW went viral for how egregiously greedy it was. And that was just like basically a skin for a mount, you know, that wasn't even that ridiculous. Compared to like a $1,500 ship macro transactions. Yeah, literally. And I understand people
okay.
like, well,
so here's the thing. I'm going to share this with you. I thought he was going to cover it, but apparently he is not. So I'm going to look it up, and we are going to watch part of it, not all of it. I want the original video, so maybe he's got the original posted in here. So you got... There we go.
You're here. I'm here.
This is what I thought he was going to cover. This came out 5 days ago. It's the ISC about Alpha 4.3. This is what I thought he was going to actually cover. I'm going to cover this for a couple of minutes, and then I got to go. I need to eat something, and I need to pass out. I can feel my fingers buzzing. So I guess I'm here. You're here. We're going to do this in one take. And yeah.
Here, we got one take. Let's talk about the elevator in the room. Now, up until this point, freight elevators were mostly used in single-player, short-term environments like personal hangars. There would usually only be one user, and on the back end, it would be stowed when you left, and a fresh new freight elevator presented every single time you went back in.
So, what about those freight elevators, guys? What about those freight elevators, huh? Those ones that were only in your hangars that you had problems with. What about the ones in... What about the freight elevators scattered throughout Stanton? You know, salvage yards, the mining outposts. What about in Pyro? What about those? What about all those? What about those? You know, those freight elevators that have been around since 3.23, which I should remind you, if I am remembering correctly, it has been 1 year since last week, since freight elevators were introduced to Star Citizen. 1 year. One year. And if you go back to 2024, I believe it was in the second week of April, which was 2 weeks before, actually it was 3.23.1 or .2 that the elevators came out. It was 3.23 when Master Modes came out, and the elevators were supposed to be in them. The elevators, and remember, they said it, not me, we're this close. We just need to do a little bit of polishing, so that way things run nice and smooth. Initially, people like Kroncy, Salty Mike, myself, and lots of other people thought 4-6 weeks max, we'll get our our personal hangars, we'll be able to decorate them how we want, we're going to get vehicle elevators, we're going to get cargo missions. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be the best thing that's ever happened to Star Citizen. 4 months later, and we got what? I mean, you guys can make up the number if you want. We got what? 40% of that, 30% of that? Because it wasn't 50%. And once again, if I am not mistaken, to this day, you cannot decorate your hangar how you want it, like they showed in all the pictures prior to that release. We still don't have vehicle elevators. We can call up an Atlas on a freight elevator. Freight elevators are broken. Hangar elevators, I don't know about now, but for the first 6 months, every time I logged into Star Citizen, I had to sacrifice one of my ships to the hangar gods just so I could get a goddamn ship out and fly it around. That is how it worked every single time. It didn't matter if I was at the ASOP terminal in the main lobby or if I went down to my hangar. I had to sacrifice one ship to the elevator gods to get the ship that I wanted out. It's been 1 year. 1 year. And I know he was given a script, or he wrote the script, and he's reading off of a teleprompter. He may have been given the teleprompter and what was said on here, but this is very symptomatic of the developers and the quote-unquote PR person. You don't play your game. And if you did play your game, then you would understand how frustrating this has been for the last year to be dealing with. Whether it's an event, whether it's just a regular freight elevator out in the wild, it's contested zones, it's a hangar elevator, it's a personal elevator eating you. It doesn't matter. This has been going on. The personal elevators have been going on for longer than a year. The freight elevators and the hangar elevators have been going on for a year. I'm going to let him continue now.
Now, while certainly not perfect, these tended to operate better than the ones out in the wilderness at, say, outposts, which, like many other things in the verse, tended to compound their issues over time the longer they were left to run. Now, of all the known issues with all the freight elevators in the game, most tend to revolve around simple things like it just doesn't work, and bigger problems like all my items have vanished and they're now lost forever, which itself can often tie into other issues with things like long-term persistence, which we're gonna have an SCL on with Benoit soon to discuss some new developments there. So if it's okay with you, we're gonna stick to freight elevators for the time being.
So here's another thing. He just said that they've made how many events that revolved around just freight elevators? So you knew you had problems. And then you created events with one-time deal things only that you needed to rush to possibly have it done before the next patch came out in a month. You created how many events now? Knowing that it was a problem? Like, come on, man. Like, seriously. And I bet I'm too lazy and I'm too fucking tired to look. But I guarantee you, if you go to the issue council report, there are going to be tons of freight elevators regarding personal hangars, to freight elevators in the wild, to freight elevators in contested zones, not working, broken, things missing. As Sliver pointed out, the SCUs aren't right from what you put on it to what you get out, or what you put on it to what actually gets stored, and so on. And I guarantee you there's going to be duplicates, closed because of duplicate, closed because of duplicate, closed because it cannot be recreated. So, like, this was supposed to be the year of stability and playability, and all we've gotten is a bunch of short-term events and a flashy ship sale literally every month. And that's, like I said, I can't stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough. Oh crap, I forgot. I can't just quickly undo that. Wait, maybe I... Oh no, I can't. I can't. What I was going to show you is... See these? See these joysticks right here? See? This, I am not getting rid of those. You know why I'm not getting rid of those? Because I still have hope that Star Citizen is going to be a fucking awesome game, and I can use these to fly around the verse, and it's going to be amazing. I still have hope. I really have hope. I will never get rid of these because I am still waiting for Star Citizen to be the game that I think it should be and might still end up being. But this is the kind of shit that made me walk away. I wasn't intending on selling my account because I was mad at the game. I sold my account because I needed to pay for something else. You guys are all aware of that, people that talk to me in the Discord and everything like that. I did not sell because I hate the game. I sold because I had to make a difficult adult decision, and that's what I did. And that's going to take care of some stuff for me and my family, and that's fine. I'm at peace with it. I'm not mad, but this is really, really bad. Like, you guys have got to, like, in my opinion, you guys have, and I'm not saying you guys, like the people in chat, I'm saying just like in general, you guys, the Star Citizen fans out there, like, you really, really have to understand that you need to start holding these guys accountable. You need to get louder. You need to get more people involved. PES has been around for 2 years, not 3 years now. Hangars have been around for a year. Master Modes has been around for a year and a half. Like, actually longer than that. Master Modes has been around for about 2 years now, because it was in Arena Commander. They keep saying that things are going to change and it's going to add, we're going to add onto it, we're going to make improvements, but that never happens. It never happens. And it's put down for the new shiny, which is usually a ship. Dynamic server meshing. Where are we on that? We have static server meshing, but we don't have dynamic server meshing. I understand there's more to it than static server meshing, but I'm even told by Star Citizen fans when I bring up games like Dune, Ashes of Creation, and some other games that have static server meshing, that it's not the same kind of static server meshing as Star Citizen. Or the other one that I'm really, 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 I really, really like, I think it's my favorite one, is Dune, Ashes of Creation, and some of the other games that I've brought up in the past. Those wouldn't have static server meshing if Star Citizen didn't come up with it. Most amazing thing ever. Anyways, I'll let him continue as I rant.
Now at this point, I'm not really telling you anything that most active players don't already know. But it's important to note that these issues have been egregious enough that we'd already started a directed repair initiative months ago. It's just not completed yet, obviously.
So you started a repair committee within Star Citizen to fix the elevators, which months ago, which you knew they were broken before you came up with the event. Do you guys understand, like, how fucked up that is? Do you understand, like, and once again, I don't mean you guys in chat, I mean the general Star Citizen community. Do you understand how fucked up that is to know that the main part of the event that you're going to headline in a patch and come up with rewards for is broken and fucked up, and you've created a repair committee to fix it months ago, knew it was fucked, knew people were going to be pissed off, knew people wouldn't be able to complete it, but you did it anyways so that you could attach fucking ships to a sail to sell to people. Do you like, let that sink in for a minute. Like, just let that sink in for a minute. They created a repair committee to fix the elevators that they knew were broken months ago. To then create an event with limited time rewards revolving around the freight elevators that they knew were broken to sell you ships connected to cargo running plus the new ship of that month. That is really fucked. It's really fucked. I can't defend that kind of behavior. I'm not asking you guys to defend that kind of behavior, but like the regular Star Citizen casuals and the super hardcore defenders, like, how can you defend that? And how can you be like, it's just an alpha, bro? Like, wow. All right, let's let him continue. I am going to stop it once he's done talking about freight elevators, though.
Maybe super obviously. As with transit, when working these issues, we try really hard to avoid what are known as hack fixes and focus instead on trying to uncover what is ultimately the root cause that will create all this instability underneath. And that process can often seem like absolutely nothing is happening for days or even weeks at a time. So last month, what happened with Race for Stanton? Well,
Mao, he's got the highest score. That's really messed up and dark of me.
Sometimes changing how we use old features can be just as painful as adding a bunch of new ones. With a higher concurrency in daily active users than any patch this year, large numbers of players were driven from their private freight elevators and their personal hangars to the more troublesome ones out in the PU. Statistically rare states became common, and less common issues...
Oh my God. Like, okay, I'm done after this. I am absolutely done after this. I can't do it anymore. I feel like I am having... I feel like I'm going to stroke out. I feel like I'm going to stroke out just covering this shit. He said it was statistically rare that these things happen to the elevators. Like, statistically rare. And certain things needed to happen. So I'm going to go. I need to eat and I need to fall asleep because, like I said, my hands are buzzing. My fingertips are buzzing. But I want you guys, I'm going to try to do this in a calm manner. If in 2 minutes, this was the most enlightening 2 minutes that Jared has ever done, I think, in a long while. And I want to reiterate what I said. They knew the freight elevators across Stanton and Pyro were broken. They created a repair committee to fix the elevators. They weren't fixed. They created an event. They created an event with limited time rewards, knowing that some people wouldn't finish or that it wouldn't work. And then bundled up cargo ships and put them on sale or advertised them all over the Pledge store and connected them to the event page for the game, for the event, and the meteor, the mantis meteor, just so they could make a quick buck. I want you guys to really think about that. Spread the word. Just spread the word on that. I don't think it can go long enough and far enough. And the other problem is that Stars, once again, and I'm not saying you guys, but a majority of the Star Citizen community have brains of fucking goldfish and are basically semi-retarded. And, you know, when they eat crayons and they get to the green one tastes like green apples. And the red one tastes like strawberries. I'm not saying be mean to them. I'm just saying they are handicapped and they need our help. And just be nice to them. Just be nice to them. And if you have a few extra crayons, you know, while you're talking to them and helping them with their Star Citizen addiction, pass them a few crayons. You know, it might make them feel safe. I don't know what else to say. Here, you guys, here, when you guys are having your conversation with the crayon eaters. Oh, no, I'm putting it in the wrong chat. You can use that. And, you know, they won't be able to defend it for very long. But it's true. And like everything I've said, good point, Jim. Good point. And Grumpy's right. Like, as much as I want to see this game succeed, like the way it's being ran right now just makes me want to vomit. Like Grumpy said, it just makes me want to vomit. It's terrible. It's just terrible. And yeah, and you know what, Blaze? To take that AJ quote, like every time like I really start dissecting Star Citizen, I feel a little retarded. And once again, as I pointed out, I don't want it to be well, first off, I don't want to be retarded. Secondly, I still want Star Citizen to be a really badass game, but until it becomes a actual game, I will sit on this side of the screen and tap on the glass every once in a while to piss off all the little fishies in the Star Citizen community, and yeah, just be me. Just be me. That's it. I have no idea. I honestly have not been on the RSI website since the day I sold my last ship. To be 100% honest. I'm going to have to do, and also to be honest, I'm probably going to have to do a password reset because I don't remember the password anymore. Anyways, guys, I need to go. I need to eat. I need to go sleep for a little while. It was awesome doing this again. I haven't been here in a long while. I hadn't done this in a long while. Guys, go check out my my new channel if you get a chance. Please. It'd mean a lot to me if you did. So I guess I'm gonna say so long. Thanks, Sliver, for being here. Adam, Grumpy, Mr. E, aka The Blaze, JT, if you're still here, Mason, Daddy Dante. If I'm forgetting you, it's not because I don't like you. It's just because I'm tired and I forgot. You guys, so long. Thanks for all the fish, and I'll see you hopefully soon. Oh, and Cosmic and Adam, you guys too. You guys all have a great day. Yeah. I haven't done this forever. I don't know what to do. I was already raging grumpy.